Good morning, boys and girls. It's Jason, Zombie Collector, doing another little deep thought session. And I have a good one today. I think I have a really good one. I have one that's hopefully will spark a lot of conversation. And so let's get into it. As you all know, this past week, the Boston Red Sox went to go see President Trump in the White House. Now, as you all probably know if you follow baseball, which I'm sure most of you all do, that, I don't know, probably about a third of the team, possibly, maybe less, I'm not for sure, chose not to go. A few of them said a few little things here and there, but no one outright said it was because of Trump, which is fine. It's whatever. People can go or not go. That's not what I'm arguing about necessarily. My point is that that I've noticed a lot of commentary by players, but also by media personnel and some reporters that, were giving the players who did go a hard time. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's been a whole lot of teams that went to see a whole lot of presidents over the course of many years and decades, and that was usually a very welcoming, cool thing to have opportunity to do, which is go to the White House regardless of who was sitting in the office. And that it was an honor to go there. And that maybe that the president, whoever the president was at the time, might not have been the president you voted for. You might not have been a big fan of him or his policies per se, but you went because it was an honor to go and to be asked. And a lot of people, most citizens, don't ever have the chance to go. And a lot of players from other countries will definitely never have a chance to go to the White House. So it was kind of an awesome opportunity that very few people around the world will get. And I don't remember in the past it being such a huge deal. Every once in a while, like I said, some people might say something, but overall it was a pretty uneventful event, quite frankly. But I was online over the last week or so, and then there was so many reporters and people in general that were just, losing their minds that, the Boston Red Sox would honor the request to go and see them. And then, people were saying, well, if the Boston Red Sox didn't want to be political, they shouldn't have went. And I don't think going to the White House has anything to do with politics. I think it was an honor to be asked. Every major sporting team that wins something huge goes. And I feel like there's, really cool thing. I think the lesser the sport is the lesser the people care, I guess, because I've heard there are certain smaller teams from other states that went for maybe college basketball or football or baseball, whatever, and no one really cares. But because it's the Boston Red Sox, everybody cares because they're, a huge market and it's a huge team and it's a major league team, of course. And, and I just find that to be, very hypocritical that certain teams, I guess, get a pass because they don't really care as much about the South Dakota women's basketball team. But so they go, and I guess they go as a team, or whatever. Maybe some of the ladies sat out, but they go as a team, and there was no conversation about that. But when NFL team goes, like the Patriots or the Red Sox go, people lose their minds thinking, how dare you go? Because by going, you're supporting the president. And that's not even it. I mean, regardless of what your feelings are on Trump, that's not the purpose of you going. It's because you're being asked to go to have an event that, like I said, not many people get to go to. And I just find it interesting that the commentary you hear a lot of is that all of a sudden it becomes political when it has zero to do with politics. It has to do with celebrating an achievement that was only won by one person or one team that year, and that was that individual. Tiger Woods went, 2 weeks ago? And there was a lot of attitude about him going, how dare he go to the White House? And, Tiger Woods has said multiple times throughout his career and recently that he stays out of politics when it comes to his sports because he knows that it's not beneficial to him. It has zero benefit to him to get political as a sports icon. It does not help him because all you're going to do is alienate a group of his fans or a huge group. It depends. And that goes to my other point, which is that you have people like David Price on the Red Sox and Mookie Betts and Devers and all them guys that have said things, not necessarily quote unquote why they're not going to the Red Sox, but why they bowed out with going. And I just wonder, does that change your perspective on a player? You know, does it make you lose a little bit of your interest or your excuse me, must be still going through puberty here. It makes you lose a little bit of your, support of a player who gets real political on one side or the other, regardless. I just was wondering if that affects you at all in any kind of way. If it affects you in a way that, you support them more based on how they feel and that it aligns to your politics or your views, or if it actually alienates you because you're like, hey man, just keep politics out of sports. I want to watch baseball or basketball or football or pinochle or underwater basket weaving or an extreme game of Uno, and I don't need to know your politics about it. I just want to watch you perform at the highest level. That's why I'm watching. I can be honest with you and say, when I find out that a player, no matter what the sport is, but especially baseball, gets super political and everything they say and do feels like it's because they're trying to, signal to somebody else, like, hey, look how woke I am, or how much of a, rebel rouser I am because I just want to, get all the attention on me. I'm the first one to admit that I lose a lot of respect and interest in following that person anymore. And again, on either side, I don't need to hear that from my sports people. I really don't want to hear that. I just want you to go out there and, hit a baseball, catch an out, strike out a batter, or strike out a pitcher, I guess, if he's up there batting. But I don't need to hear it. And so, for me, when it comes to sports and any kind of entertainment, I guess, I'm like apolitical. Like, I don't want to hear it. I get that enough from everybody else, including myself. So I just was wondering where you all fall on that thing, because I know regardless if you're a very political person or not, or you could care less, obviously you know about it, you hear about it, you see it, and, it might affect your team. So, and it might affect the way other people around you approach the game or the sport or whatnot. So I just kind of want to know what you all thought, because, it's obviously it's an opinion. This is fact. These are just purely opinions. But, I just find it takes the fun out of the game, and it takes me out of the interest of watching a player be successful, because I really don't care anymore about that player or their lack of success when they get up there and they're like just bashing a president, or they're bashing a group of people because of their support of the president. And that, again, that can go across the aisles, And I'm sure other presidents experienced some of this at other points in their presidency, but to me it seems like recently, maybe just because a lot more people are a lot more aware, because everything seems to be so anti-Trump now, that maybe you just get that a lot more than before. Like, you would have a little blurb about, President Obama, but it was like over with before it even started. But here it feels like it just kind of permeates and kind of just keeps going and going, and until it finally runs its course, which could be like, it seems like forever. That they went to go see President Trump last week, and I still see articles about it on Yahoo and Google and things, and it was like just released like in the last day or so. So it's done and over with. Like, there's even an article, they said that President Trump is taking credit for the Red Sox winning the last however many games in a row since they went to the White House. And everybody knows that he's a egomaniac who loves to take credit for everything. But like, they're like writing stories and articles about it, like, how dare he take credit? It's like, I'm sure it's done in tongue-in-cheek. Like, he obviously knows he has zero to do with their success, because he's not on the field. He's not doing anything. That's just who he is. But everybody gets up there and it's like, how dare he take credit for that? So I don't know. To me, it's something that's like not even a story. It's less of a story, but they make it a story because, they think that's going to get people to click on their articles and get people talking and get people all riled up, I guess. So anyways, yeah, I just, thought I'd throw it out there, guys. I'm really interested to hear what you all have to think. I appreciate it. thanks again for the support, guys. I really do. It means a lot. And I will say, I kind of will throw this out there. I mentioned this before. I hinted about it before. But I have a new segment I'm going to start up on my channel here shortly. And I'll be looking forward to that. I'll probably be releasing the first video of that in the next couple days to a week. So I got to get a few in the can first so I can kind of get it going. But anyways, you all, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. And until next time, peace, love, and hair grease.